I was having this conversation with my buddy Andrew Martinez the other night, and I was talking about this quote that I've talked about on here before. And it says, "It's not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." And that is by the Stoic philosopher Seneca. And Marty, if you're watching this, shout out to you. You're the inspiration for this video. But he basically was talking about that he had this choice in life where he ultimately wanted to do two things. One, to be involved in creating a startup, or focusing on a media sort of outlet like YouTube. And he ultimately decided that he had to choose one of them. And the whole idea behind it is that he can focus on this startup, and fulfill that dream and potentially set himself up financially for the rest of his life, and then transition later on into this sort of media career, if that makes sense. And so I really had to think about that for a second. And my argument was, so my whole argument of what Marty basically said is, why can't you do both of those things at the same time? Because on the devil's advocate side of things, I personally just feel like I have way too many goals and aspirations in life that I get caught up in the aspect of how can I fit all of these in life. And going back to that quote by Seneca, it's not that we have a short life, but we waste much of it. I was explaining the other night that we basically only have like 50 years to do whatever you want. Because in your 20s, that's when you really start making your own decisions and being able to do what it is that you want to do in life. You've got 50 years because the average person lives till they're about 75. So 50, 55 years ish to do what you want to do in life. And I don't know, I feel like there's so many things that I want to do in life that oftentimes you get caught up in the analysis paralysis of just over analyzing this thing and not doing anything. So I have to work on multiple things at once. And I've tried to like hyper focus on just one thing and just put in that one thing, but I feel like I feel like as human beings, we get bored with things very easily, right? And so you have to constantly be, you know, the ADHD brain in you has to constantly be doing multiple things at once to keep yourself entertained and focused. I don't know what the right answer is, whether you just focus on one thing and you put in the 100 hours on just that one thing and become a master at 10,000 hours at it. But at the same time, it's like, who says you can't have your cake and eat it too? Live multiple lives. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because that quote by Seneca is something that really resonates with me because oftentimes we really get caught up in the culture of we don't have enough time. And we do have enough time. It's just how much you choose to spend on it. How much do you choose to doom scroll on it? How much do you choose to procrastinate and waste time on it? You can have those things. I'm not saying that I don't do those things because I do. I often get very caught up in the doom scroll and things like that. But You have to pull yourself out of that. And it's hard because it's engineered to keep you locked in on that thing. For me, I would not feel right in life if I did not try to do those things that I want to do, like starting a nonprofit, like starting Wide Open Access, like, one day creating a podcast, like working on social media, like creating all of these wheelchair products and accessibility products that I want in my everyday life. So why shouldn't other people have them as well? Because if I want them, somebody else might want them. So, because if not you, then who? If not now, then when? I don't know what is right. Maybe I am completely wrong and you should just focus on one thing and become a master at it and then focus on the next thing and become a master at that. I just feel like that's not how a lot of people's brains are wired. Like I said, I feel like very much so we as humans get caught up in the analysis paralysis and end up doing nothing. And I was that person for a very long time. And I still am that person at times because I often think about all these things that I'm trying to do and you just get overwhelmed. And then you end up doing nothing. But what do I know? What are your guys' thoughts?